Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. One of my latest acquisitions. Actually, it's been a couple of months now that I got this Commodore 16, but there was a mishap. By the first time I got it powered up, and so I've been waiting for some spare parts to arrive. It is in mint condition, arrived to me boxed, and it's in great shape and condition. So I loved it the first time I laid my eyes on it on eBay, and I decided to buy it. But again, it was one of these things that the seller tells you that it used to work, not tested, and all that kind of stuff. And so I took my chances and I bought it. Actually, one of the main things I keep saying, and I always suggest this to you guys, take a good look at the power supply of each and every machine, because those things are like 30 or 40 years old or something. So they're prone to fail. In any case, and since these are external power supplies, it is easy to measure it and to check it before you plug it in. And so I did. Without any load, I put my multimeter and I checked the voltage, which was around 10 volts DC. And then what I did, I powered up the machine the first day I got it, and then it simply died. And it's a pity, because it was, as I said, it came to me in a box in mint condition, but well, that's not good enough in many cases. I got swept away by the looks of it and the condition, but it's an old piece of hardware, it's an old piece of equipment, so you always have to be cautious with this. So here's the story, what happened and how I managed to do some stuff around it. Starting, of course, with the power supply, which somehow blew up or died. It's a simple circuit. You can see there's a bridge rectifier instead of 4 diodes, a fuse, an electrolytic capacitor, which is again the first thing that is prone to failure. After all these years, this blue one is going to be replaced with a new one, the fuse as well, and see what happens. This capacitor could hold up to 16 volts max. It's going to be replaced with a new one, same value, but that could stand 25 volts instead. And always check polarity before you put the new capacitor in place. Whenever you have trouble with power supplies like this, and Commodore 16 in particular, you can use a ZX Spectrum power supply instead, for I don't know, testing purposes, or if you don't have a power supply at all. As you can see, it's something that is component made in Denmark. It can hold up to a load of 0.8 amps, and the value, the output is 9.5 volts or something around that. So we got everything in place. I'm going now to test it. 3.5 millimeter jack, standard like the Spectrum. The negative is the center of the jack, and the outside part is the positive, so always be careful with that as well. And so no news, no happy news whatsoever. The same strange black screen comes up. Now I'm trying over the TV tuner on channel 36. I have put the cable for the monitor, AV3 in this case, as well, to be checked, but apparently there is nothing to be shown on the screen. I'm going to switch it on and off several times to see what happens, but all I get is a flashing white thing like this. a couple of times, switch it on and off, and nothing happens. Black screen keeps coming up. So something must have been damaged by the time I foolishly connected the power supply that day. So I have to investigate. I had something in my mind, and that was the PLA chip, the logic chip, because it's prone to failure as well. In the meantime, this particular part has arrived recently, so I'm going to change it in a while. But first, I'm going to check the voltages around the circuit, because I haven't done that by the time I was so confused the first time I got the black screen. And so I closed up the machine, put the order for the new PLA, and never dealt with it again ever since. But now checking the measurements to get the 5 volts stabilized that we need, and apparently it looks like it is the case. We have the right voltages right there, and so I'm going to replace the PLA soon. And so here is the package, just arrived, the old PLA removed right there. Now if you ask me why it wasn't the TED chip or the CPU that came in my mind, I don't know why. Just, I can call it a hunch, you can call it a hunch, I don't know. I just ordered the PLA, and to be honest, I have TED chip to swap if needed, and a CPU probably if needed, hopefully not, but I didn't have the PLA chip. This is a custom-made PLA. Let's see if it works. Let's see how it is designed. It was looking good over the internet, to be the part to replace the old one. I'm not going to throw this one away, though. I'm just gonna keep it in my spares, marked as faulty, but I'm not gonna throw it away just yet. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and put the new PLA in the socket, and as you can see, it is a very well designed EEPROM, equipped with precision pin headers to plug on the motherboard, the existing socket. Remember, if you have normal pin headers, that could damage your existing socket of your motherboard. And this one looks good, really good one, really professional job. Removed the previous one. Let's test it. I cannot wait to power on the machine and see what happens. I've been waiting for a couple of months for this. So here we go, the moment of truth. Fired it up. And yes, we have a signal, but it is a strange signal. We have a black and white border instead of a purple one. In the case of Commodore 16 and Commodore Plus 4, the border should be purple. We can see that we have 12 kilobytes available for the user, which is good. This gives me the idea that everything is fine with the RAM chips, the PLA, the TED chip. I don't know about the TED chip, and the RAM as well. So, and the ROM as well. So now this is weird. I haven't seen this before. We have a black and white image, a black and white screen. I really don't know if this is because of some glitch in the EEPROM or the PLA chip, or there is something wrong with the TED chip. Okay, as I said, I haven't seen this happening before. Let's go to the image coming from the TV modulator. It's a bit blurry. but it's the same thing, black and white again. So the TED chip is marked already in my mind as suspect number 2, as it is first of all, TED stands for text editing device. It's the MOS technology 7360 chip. It's a video chip actually, but contains sound generation hardware. It contains DRAM refresh circuitry. It has interval timers. It controls the keyboard, handles the keyboard input, and it controls also. It can control the joystick as well. The TED chip can support 5 video modes: text mode, multicolor text, extended background color mode, multicolor graphics, and high resolution graphics. So this is really what we should be looking at right after the PLA replacement. Well, next thing to do is to write some code, some silly program which prints several dots or graphics on the screen, plays some sound during the operation, and everything is in black and white, strange black and white or shades of gray, so no color whatsoever. What it should be is a line of the output should be lines of red dots, blue dots, green dots, and everything, just to check the colors on the screen and everything, with some sound in between. But the sound is okay, but the dots are gray, black, shades of gray, and everything like the ones you see on the screen. Okay, now logically speaking, since the TED chip, the 7360, handles the keyboard, and we can write some code, and since it controls the output of the video, it's a video chip, and we have problems with the video. This is probably the faulty one, but then again, it works fine with typing commands with a keyboard, and it can control the sound. And so what is best to help you with a faulty Commodore 16 if you don't have a spare one? Well, it's Commodore Plus 4, and here we have it. It has been around somewhere in the lab for quite some time now, so I'm going to power it up and test it, and we're going to start replacing chips. I'm going to remove the metal shield from the TED chip, which is somewhere underneath there, and next to it, the one with the heatsink, is the CPU, and we move forward. Hopefully this is a working unit and we can swap chips. This is not my favorite part, but again, it's all a matter of investigation, and we can make sure that the TED chip is working. So I will remove this one from the Commodore 16 and put it onto the socket of the Commodore Plus 4, and I'll do the same with the TED chip from Commodore Plus 4, this one with a big stain from the 40-year-old thermal paste. I have cleaned it a bit with isopropyl alcohol, removed the thermal paste. So I'm going to swap those two and see what happens. And if we get color onto the Commodore 16, or black and white screen onto the Commodore Plus 4, which is going to be interesting, and hopefully it won't be this case. Okay, imagine that. We are looking at the Commodore Plus 4 with the TED chip from the Commodore 16 in place, this one. And we have a perfect working unit. This is what we should be looking at by looking at the Commodore boot up screen, the 16 one, I mean, with the purple border, with 12 kilobytes instead of 60. So we do know that the TED chip from the Commodore 16 works on the Commodore Plus 4 just fine. And let's do the very same experiment with the other one, the other TED chip with a big stain on it that I have put into the Commodore 16. So everything works fine in this unit. The chips are getting warm but not hot. So we're good with this. So far so good. This is a good approach. I think we're lucky, and at least the TED chip from the Commodore 16 doesn't seem to be a faulty one. And so we have the the Commodore Plus 4 TED chip in the place of the previous one into the Commodore 16, and we have the same result, black and white image. So it's definitely not the TED chip that is faulty, cannot be, and we have to come up with some other ideas, I guess. Okay, another thing that came in my mind is to swap the PLA with another one. I have two. I had another one in my spares, but the second one doesn't fit. So what I did is to actually swap the PLA. Come on, focus. To swap the PLA from the working Commodore Plus 4, and apparently nothing changed. So I guess the new PLA that I bought is okay. It is okay, and I can see no connection between the video and the PLA chip. So we have the very same results, the black and white image, using the working PLA from the Commodore Plus 4 as well. So I don't know what to think of right now. I think I'm gonna be swapping the CPU soon. And so the last thing I'm going to do tonight, I think I removed the CPU from the Commodore 16. I put a heatsink on it right on the side, while this one came from the Commodore Plus 4. This one is to be with the heatsink on the side to distinguish those two, is the existing one from the Commodore 16. So I'm going to place the other one from the Commodore Plus 4, which has the heatsink in the middle right there, and that's gonna be the final test for tonight, and hopefully I don't know, we can see some difference. And there you go, we have swapped the CPUs, and apparently I have to say my patience is not running thin, but I'm running out of ideas. We have the same black and white screen coming up on the Commodore 16. So yeah, I don't know, for the time being I ran out of ideas. I was looking at the schematics and some articles over the internet, so I saw that there is a CD1 variable capacitor that does all the timing. It actually nudges the crystal to alter its frequency, the color subcarrier clock for NTSC and PAL as well. So this could be the case. I'm checking voltages again. I put everything back in place, like the original chips in place for both Plus 4 and this Commodore 16 machine. So I'm gonna check the voltages again, although I know everything looks fine. But really something tells me that it's this trimmer cap, this yellow little thing close to the TED chip, that actually screws up with the color output somehow. So I'm going to investigate further over this one, and hopefully we should have another video to replace this capacitor. I have to look up for the value and everything, and make sure that I'm going to order the right part. And I'll be catching you soon with another video. Hopefully we can get this working, because it's a very nice machine. And thanks for watching. I'll be catching you soon. I like this Commodore 16. in any other aspect, very nice machine and looking in great condition, mint condition. So I'd like to keep it in my collection, in its box, in perfect working order. So again, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. Hopefully we can get part 2 soon over this part 1 video fixing this little Commodore 16. Thanks for watching. Bye.